Hello there, thrill seekers. It's me, and I am in Las Vegas with Daisy. Hello, Daisy. Daisy, come look. Hi, Daisy. This is my nephew's dog, Daisy. Hello. So Ziggy's back in Los Angeles. We're still in Los Angeles, and I'm out here with Daisy Dog at my nephew's place. And I thought I'd make just a really quick video. I was out last night at the Kiss miniature golf in the Rio casino. And this is the German logo that KISS uses in Germany. They had to change the S's because the S's look like the SS symbol, the original logo of KISS. So they have this special, they had this German logo hat, which I thought was neat. So uh, this is going to be the briefest sort of exposition on this topic that you'll ever see. And I figure maybe in the future I will revisit this in a better way, in a setting where I'm at home and I can look at my books and I can give you, a chapter and verse to consult. Sorry if it sounds windy, because there's no, I don't have the sock to put over my microphone. I'm just using this little microphone here. So anyhow, somebody asked me a question about leaving home as it applies, because I had mentioned I'm getting married on June 26th. I'm sorry, it's like I'm trying to announce that or something, but that's not really the case. But I'd mentioned it twice on videos, and people ask that because Dogen, if you read Dogen and kind of take him by his letter, by what he says, he seems very disparaging about people who have a home life, who are married, for example, like I'm going to be in a couple of weeks. And especially in Shobogenzo's We Monkey, which is that book I brought up like a week ago or something, which contains a lot of his brief talks as recorded by Eijo, his student. He's pretty disparaging in there, and he says you really have to be a monk to get it. And being a monk to him means shaving your head, going off and living in the monastic community with a bunch of dudes usually, or a bunch of women. Usually they're separated by sex. Actually, these days it's becoming less common. There's actually mixed gender ones. But anyway, that's the idea. Okay, so, and if you take him in his letter, you think, well, that's it. Nobody can get enlightened unless they shave their head and put on some robes and live in a monastery. Well, if you take that as what he means, then Dogen sounds like an idiot. Because why would the universe construct itself in such a way that the only way any human being could awaken or find the truth would be to put on a certain kind of clothing and live in a certain, sorry, I wanted to make sure Daisy didn't run away, live in a certain community and do all these very specific things, which are very much outgrowth of a specific sort of culture and historical milieu and everything like that. We're talking about the universe, is much bigger than the Zen community, as it developed in China and Japan and all those places. So that's not what he's saying, and I don't think he's that kind of a person who's saying, well, you got to join my cult or else you'll never get it, because that would be stupid. Also, my main teacher, Gudo Nishijima Roshi, was married and had a kid. I never met the kid or the wife, but he had a kid and a wife, and he had a practice. And since the Meiji Restoration in Japan, a lot of monks have done this. Kobun Chino was married, that was my first teacher's teacher, was married a number of times. I think a lot of the teachers that you'll read about these days, Shohaku Okumura, a married man with a child, the two children. There's a movie called, I think it's called Sit, with an exclamation point. You can find it on YouTube. That's about Shohaku Okumura's children. I'm not going to look up the URL, but you can look it up. Anyway, that's the case with a lot of us, and myself included, who practice this stuff. We kind of, it's hard to say how we deal with that admonition that you have to go off and be a monk and not be married and live in the temple and all this stuff. Nishijima Roshi's version of dealing with it seemed to be more that what a monk was more an internal attitude rather than external circumstances. So that if you approach your life living in your apartment with your husband or wife and kids and dog and whatever as Buddhist practice, then you're a monk. That's just kind of a half-assed answer, which is why I'd rather sort of build this up and make a better answer of it. But I got stuff I got to do, so I don't have a lot of time to do that today. But I guess, like I said, that's the quick answer to the question. And the quick answer is that you can be a monk in your attitude. And I think if I left it at that, then I would rightfully get a bunch of people in the comments section going, no, Marwan, and telling me why I can't do that and why that's half-assed, because you can be half-assed about that. You can say, oh, I'm a monk in attitude, I'm drinking my beer like a monk, and I'm shooting my heroin like a monk, or whatever. You could, I'm going to the bunny ranch like a monk, whatever it is. There's a Vegas reference there. But that's not the attitude. The attitude is to follow the precepts and to sort of channel your life as if you're a monk, but you don't actually, do all the things, the traditional monks things. Although the traditional monks things are very, very valuable, and for a lot of people, that's the way they have to do it. Anyway. Yeah, that's a really quick and half-assed answer, but I'll try to develop that. If people are interested, leave me a comment saying you're interested in further developments on this. There is a book about that, about this very subject, and I think it's called Neither Monk Nor Layman, but I'm not sure. I have it on my shelf at home. Maybe when I'm home I can tell you what it's called, about the whole idea of married monks in Japan and how that tradition has kind of reached out. Because the idea of Zen monks marrying was an outgrowth of the Meiji Restoration in Japan in the 1860s, and it became the norm in Japan, where it's not the norm for Buddhist monks to be married anywhere else. Although my understanding is that there's a Korean version of Buddhism in which the monks are married. I don't know off the top of my head exactly the details of that, and I could be wrong, and that it's starting to become more prevalent in other countries, and it's certainly the norm in America and Europe is for monks, they don't have to be married, but they can be married. There's not a vow of celibacy in those countries either. So there you go. That's a really half-assed answer. If you want to contribute to me making more half-assed answers like this, you can send money to the URL you're seeing below. A couple of people told me that URL is not working. As far as I can tell, it is working. Every time I click on it or ask a family member or friend with another computer to click on it, it works for them. So, and the links are still good. If you find the page, the links are fine. I'm going to try to fix that and see what the hell's wrong with it, but I can't do that right now. But as far as I know, it's working. Anyway, that is my only way of making a living. That is it. That's all I got. And I really appreciate you supporting me. Thank you. Have a good time all the time. See you later. Bye.